This conference will now be recorded.
अद्य शुक्रवासरः अथवा भृगुवासरः निज अश्विन शुद्ध सप्तमी अष्टमी च दिनांक 23 अक्टोबर 2020 सहस्रयोगम आनंदवटी शंखं चक्रं जलकान्दगतमृतघटं चारुदोषचतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यांशकपरिविलसन् मौलिनं भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगदवनप्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धाम् आत्रेयाद्येषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दृष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको विषक्श्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा गुणैरेतैः समुदितैः यत्कार्यं कृतमोऽपि सः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं नु प्रयतामहे सरस्वत्यै नमो यस्य प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षं वीक्षते आत्रेयं प्रथमं वन्दे आयुर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा हि सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत् प्रयच्छत् सत्तमः प्रथमं दन्तकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। आनंद रस जातिफलं हिन्दुलसिन्दुरौ च वरं वराच शुण्ठी विषहेम बीजं सपत्कलीकं घनदीप्ययुग्मं जम्बीरसारे सहमर्दिते तु दुर्धुरतोयैर्विजयार्द्रकेण गुञ्जैकमानां गुटिकां प्रकुर्यात् निहन्ति वातं कफमुखशूलम् आमातिसारं ग्रहणीविकारम् करोति शुक्लस्य यानपानात् रसोऽयमानन्द इति प्रसिद्धः। जातिफल हिंगुल सुंदर स्पारद वरा त्रिफला शुंठी विश्व हेम बीज दत्तूर पिप्पली घन मुस्त दिप्या युग्म अजमोदा पारसी के वाणी पावन पार्टी जंबीर स्वरस धत्रुर पत्र स्वरस विजया भांगा पत्र स्वरस आर्द्रक स्वरस separately and make into pills. वात कफ उदर रोग उदर शूल आमातिसार ग्रहणी विकार शुक्रल शुक्रल करोति शुक्लस्थितयानुपाना शुक्लम. So when it is used with sharkara, then it increases shukra also. This is quite strange. Otherwise, this is most pachan deepan. Is this available Ananda Rasa? रागत्रयी रस नंतर हा आला होता बहुधा. मालूम नहीं, एक बार देखना पड़ेगा शायद. कनक सुंदर रस ये अवेलेबल है. रोगत्रय रस. Shall we go behind and see? 185. Just check with you. Pingulam Marichan Gandham. पिप्पली टङ्कणं विषं हेमबीजं समं तेषां विजया द्रवसंयुतम् क्षणमात्रां वटीं कृत्वा रसः कनकसुन्दरः भक्षयत् गृहिणीं हन्ति आमशूलम् अरोचकम् अग्निमान्नं ज्वरं तीव्रम् अतिसारं च नाशयेत् दध्यन्नं दापयत् पथ्यं तत्रान्नं नैव भुज्यताम्. अरे बाप. Sir 37 number. But different part. Anyway, if this is not available, we have not think about it. हिंगुल मरीच गंध गंधक पिप्पली टंकण विषवत्सनाभि हेमबीज part each विजया द्रव संयुतम. So भंगा patra swarasmay going to pills. During the course of treatment, curd rice is to be taken and avoid buttermilk. So this is something very typical. Dadyodana is patya, but patra should never be taken. So this is rather strange. Grahani, Amashula, Aruchi, Agnimandya, Jwara, and Atisar. I've used Kanaka Sundar Ras in few cases, and it works very particularly in Pravahika. This is a better choice. If there is more pain, then this is more useful. In children, Sarvanga Sundar is a better choice. And Pansarkar was also using Sarvanga Sundar Rasa, and that is also available. Triguna Rasa. Gandhakashtagunam Sutam. Shuddham Mridvagninakshणम पक्वावतार्य तच्चूर्णम चूर्णतुल्या भयान्विता सप्तगुञ्जामितं खादेत् वर्धेच्च दिने दिने गुञ्जैकैकं क्रमेण यावत् स्यात् एकविंशति तीक्ष्णाच्च शर्करायुक्तं शाल्यन्नं पथ्यमाचरेत् कम्पवातप्रशान्त्यर्थं निवाते निवसेत् सदा तृणाक्षरसो नाम्ना त्रिपक्षात् कम्पवातनु. This is available. Name is Trigona Rasa, but the only Falushruti is Kampavata. And Tripakshat Kampavatana. Only thing it is to be given in increasing dose. And the dose is quite big. As such, Ashtaguna Gandhaka of Sutta, Murdvagni Kshanam Pakva. And it will be just heated on Murdvagni and immediately to be taken out. Tachurnam Churna Tulya Bhayanvitam. And then Abhaya is to be added equal quantity. Saptagunjamitam Khade. So starting dose is Saptagunja and Vardhech Dine Dine, and to be increased every dinner, every day. Yavatsyad Ekavimshati. So this will be 14 days. Tikshnacha Sarkara Yuktam Shalyannam Pathamachare. Tikshna. So Tikshna might be Maricha, we'll see. Ajja and Sharkara. Ghruta and Sharkara, that is fine. Shali rice with Maricha, Ghruta and Sharkara. So Tikshna is Maricha only, they have said. Exposing to the wind. Kampavata can be cured within 45 days. So maybe we can, this Triguna Rasa is available, or we can prepare it. Not very difficult to prepare. And maybe we start with low dose, with 1 gunja and increase every day. Because Kampavata, what is today is Parkinsonism. is vaguely translated as Sampavada. But that's a big problem. And as such, it's very difficult to treat. And what happens with Syndopa, it gives immediate relief. So people become addicted to Syndopa, and then later on it doesn't work. And I have seen patients with dose of Syndopa, 4 tablets, 5 tablets, even 6 tablets a day. And then they are totally dependent on the drug. They are miserable and deteriorating. And if we don't start with Syndopa, then the results are very little. The stage is maintained, but it's not deteriorating. The people are not happy with that. They ultimately succumb to Syndopa. And then the thing remains in anybody's hand. Neither allopathy can't do anything, nor we can do anything. So this is a big problem, and this has something to do with the degeneration. And as such, Rasayana treatment is required. That is one thing. And due to the continuous involuntary movement, there is tremor. I have seen people sweating a lot after having these tremors for a prolonged period. And sometimes they become locked. They can't speak, they can't move. And this remains for a while, maybe for 5 seconds. And then again, they can start speaking or they can again walk. But this particular condition, situation, or they are just off, they don't understand anything. And how to differentiate and how to understand whether this is Santarpanotta, Patarpanotta, etc. Abhyanga helps a lot, that is seen, very well seen, and they are at least maintained. But and give better quality of life. But if we are able to give certain results without Syndopa, maybe not to the level that Syndopa gives, but at least there is improvement seen, then that will be a great thing. There is a sort of radiation done, laser treatment, so to say, in a particular part of the brain, and it is just for a fraction of a second. And they say that it cures Parkinsonism. Only thing is, this can have adverse effect of any sort, and so many people are not ready to do that. Ula Deshpande was interested in going to US and doing this treatment, but ultimately canceled, but not to go for this treatment or something like that. So maybe we try to understand this and prepare this. I think Mangesh is there, so he may try to do this. And Paragandhakane Haritaki, Parada 1 part, Gandhaka 8 parts, and Haritaki equal of them. So 9 parts. Bhavnani Kaini. Kampavatari Ras from Bruhat Bhashya Ratnakar available containing Tambra and Rasasindur 50 mg each with 21 bhavanas of Putki. Has anybody used this? Strange combination. Hena, Tambra and Rasasindur. It's difficult to understand. This is definitely Apatarpana Dravya. Tambra, Rasasindur and 21 bhavanas of Putki. So if it is available, let us try. And this This is of course much safe as compared to this. And within 45 days, त्रिगुणरस अपतर्पणोत्थ कंपवाचा वरच उपयोगी होईल. No, it contains Haritaki, so it should be used on Santarpanotha. And this also, Putki is also from Santarpanotha, Kampavata rivers. Only thing is 8 times Gandhaka of Bharat and just heat for a while and then powder it. That is the thing. So this is again a strange combination or strange percentage of combination. This. And we have generally Samagandha Gatari. So Parada and Gandhaka in equal quantity. Dviguna, Triguna, Chaturguna, this is Rasa Sindhu that is done in that way. But but there is a, let's say, Kupi Pakwa Rasayan and lot of it enters into that. Only in Santarpanatha, I mean, yeah. So both of them are to be used in Santarpanatha. What is to be done in Alpatarpanatha, that is another important aspect. And maybe initially we give Apatarpana treatment, but later on we'll have to give Santarpana treatment as such. And Rasayana treatment, that is another important aspect over here. So treating these cases of Parkinsonism effectively in Ayurveda is a challenging job, and I have few experiences about this. And there is constipation associated in most of these cases. And this has something to do this with the Vata dosha as such. And normal medicines are not very useful in this constipation. So Tapyadira, Upyabhasma, etc. are more useful in this kind of. Bastisha effect, not very much. Generally, these are old age people, and I have given Matra Basti, but not Droha Basti or Yapana Basti. So generally, these are 65, 70 plus, and this becomes quite miserable as such. So let us see. I have one case in which she suffered from breast cancer initially. It was operated, and then now she is suffering from Parkinson's. And that is also very troublesome. And mother-in-law of a student. And very, very pity situation. That is the situation. Anyway, we'll see. But this, I think, we need to use, and this is not a very difficult part. So, Karmendriya Daurvalya, I won't say Daurvalya, I would say dysfunction, not working properly. That is the issue. And sometimes it is stuck up, and sometimes it is aggravated. That is the thing. So there is no consistency in that. Nasya should be of use, there is no doubt. I am given Nasya in many. And Anutaila or Mahakalyanaka Gurta, these are used, or even Panchagavya has been used. And if we are sure that it is Kapha then we can go for Jyotishmati as well, for Nasya, if we want to do Apatarpana only. Shodhananasya. So it is helpful, Nasya is helpful, but again the results are limited as such. And ultimately it has to do with Vata and Rakta. For us, it is Vata that is more dominant, and we are not looking at Rakta. So Rakta Prasadana will be required. I have male 63 with liver, TB, and Parkinson's. On voice changes and constipation. Liver TB. I have heard this term for the first time. Whether there is tuberculosis of liver. Yes. Mahanarayan tail is used for Snehapana and Nasya indicated in Kampa. Okay. I have used Mahamasha. There is Kampa in the Padashruti of Mahamasha tail. And even Masha Sandhava is also fine. We have the full history and then we may think of that. Brot Chagaladi Kruta also useful. So this is Santarpana, and maybe we think of this Brot Chagaladi Kruta. Of course, this has something to do with the Mausa as such. And there is Mausa Shosha in this. Liver TB on TB medicine. So you might be saying it's side effect disturbing the liver hormones, AGPT, GOT, due to TB medicine, which is very common. But it's not the TB of the liver. These are very common, that there is the AKT drugs are hepatotoxic and nephrotoxic both, and that is why it can be harmful. And I have come across such cases. They are very serious, also going to die, and have recovered with Ayurvedic treatment. So the derailment of Brihat Vishnu Taila Abhyanga and Nasya also useful. Brihat Vishnu Taila. I've heard this again for the first time. Is this available of which pharmacy? Vaidyanath. Okay. I have used Sri Gopal oil. I don't know which pharmacy prepares it, but in many brain tumors and other cases, I use Sri Gopal. Brihat Vishnu oil. Okay. We'll try to use this for Nasya and Abhyanga. Anyway, let us see. वाजीकरणसाठी आले आहे. वैद्यनाथचे श्री गोपाल. ओके. Shisnabhyanga. Okay. But I've been using this Shri Gopal for Shirobhyanga particularly. So maybe we try to use, but Brihat Vishnu Tail, what is the Falashruti of that? Does it have Kampavata as a Falashruti? With the Vilas Sanal sir used to use Brihat Vishnu Tail for Nasya. Okay. It's not. ज्वर रोगाधिकार आहे बहुधा. Okay. So let us try to see Bharat Vishnu and from Baidyanath. Actually, what has happened? Uh, I'm not using Baidyanath. Actually, Baidyanath medicines are available all over India. I'm not sure about in foreign countries, but at least in India, those are available and the quality is quite good. So, may try to think about this. And Baidyanath has only one fact for Vita X, they have a separate factory, and that is the sale of Vita X, etc. So this is Vajikarana and Vita X Gold, and that sells like anything. So this is again something strange. Amalki and Pushmanda make in contact of Sri Gopal there. So that is fine. फॉर्ममध्ये पण मिळतात असं ऐकलंय. Okay. So let us see. Himalaya drugs are available everywhere in foreign countries, and I don't think Baidyanath is having that strong network in foreign countries. And Himalaya is selling single products, single herbal powders, and that is also amazing. So this we may think of. Anyway, this seems to be good. Sri Vishnu Taila. Keeping Sri Gopal Taila at home can remove bhut etc. away. असे आलय फलश्रुतीमध्ये. तर तुम्ही असा काही use केला का Sri Gopal? So, no, I have not done. I have not actually read the part such. But this is also good. And in those cases, we can definitely, where there is Grabhadha, Bhutabadha, at least Abhinga we can say about that. And just by keeping in the house, if this is the effect, then we may try to think of using it, etc. So anyway, this is quite good, and we may think of this. Rajavirechana Gutika. तिकट त्रिफला सूत गंध पाषाण टंकणैः एतत् समन्तु जम्बालम् एतत् राजविरेचनम्. त्रिफला त्रिकटु पारद गंधक पाषाण गौरी पाषाण टंकण. Jaipal beach equal to all. Jambala is Jaipal. Liver biopsy revealed KCT, granulomatous inflammation consistent with tuberculosis. But then I think this is a side effect, or this is the upadrava of TB. And whether it is due to TB or whether it is due to a drug, that we may have to see. As you are saying, inflammation consistent with tuberculosis, then it is the effect of the disease itself. 3 months on AKT, yeah. So maybe we think of this. Now, this anti-tubercular treatment is definitely hepatotoxic and nephrotoxic. First Parkinson's, then TB. Yes, hepatic tuberculosis is an actual disorder. Okay. So anyway, I heard it for the first time, and I may try to remember. Now, what happens when there is a pinpoint diagnosis in allopathy? Say for example, tuberculosis. Then the treatment to be given is this AKT. If it is Parkinsonism, then Syndopa has to be started or something like that. And without consideration of any causative factor, any Samprapti factor, etc., etc., they just keep on giving this. And truly speaking, we should see the lifestyle, we should see all positive factors, etc., etc., and then try to arrive at some conclusion or give some treatment. कशाचं लिव्हर ट्युबरक्युलोसिस ॲलोपॅथीतला हा सहस्रवेगाचं नाही त्यांचं काही नसावं. So actually bridging the gap might be required between allopathy and Ayurveda. Only thing, we should not get carried away by allopathic views. That's a great fear. And if we start getting away from Ayurveda, then that's a big loss. So only those people who are very rigid or who are very well having knowledge of Ayurveda may try to understand this in Ayurvedic perspective and come out with some integrated approach, something like that. Planning to give simple herbs like Putki, Kavacha, Brahmi, can you please guide? As I said, you have full history, and then we talk about this. Get the history of the patient in our regular format, and then we try to understand and use something. What I feel right now, this I might have talked about this long back, about integration. This is one of the important aspects. And there have been debates on integration of Ayurveda and allopathy particularly from decades. And when we got admission, there was a strong struggle between these two. So I studied in Tilak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Pune, and there were stalwarts in Ayurveda before we really joined. So Purushottam Shastri Nanal, Mama Gokhale, and some other people, Shigo Joshi, his student or something like that, were stalwarts in Ayurveda. And Nanal, Uga Nanal, and then Bhaku Nanal was a good practitioner, there is no doubt. But later on, the BMS course structure, it was initially BAM and S, which was a regular integrated course with combination of Ayurveda and allopathy. And at that time, though there were very good Ayurvedic teachers, there were also very good allopathic teachers. Bachin Lagu and many other people from allopathy were also very strong and very good teachers and were good with their sciences. And the era was totally difficult for Ayurveda because with new inventions and varieties of things, particularly use of analgesics, antibiotics, then steroids, and then hormonal treatment, and then surgery. This was like too much of advancements in all these fields. And even very good Vaidyas got carried away with these developments in conventional medicine. And so there was more influence by the allopaths than the Ayurvedic teachers. Even though Bhapunanal and Mama Gokhale were very strong and they were giving very good results. Venkata Shastri Pune was giving very good results. Venkata Shastri Joshi was giving very good results. But Venimada Shastri Joshi also became integrated. Mama Gokhale also became integrated. That was the situation at that time. But still, this integration was in favor of Ayurveda and not in favor of allopathy. Dada Bhatt particularly was a very good practitioner of Ayurveda, but he believed in allopathy as well that much. And he was using both Ayurveda and allopathy both. But later on, with the change in the syllabus and when the course got abolished and BMS course started, there was a big struggle between integrated and Ayurvedic. Ayurvedic was of opinion that they are getting away from Ayurveda integrated people. And so there was a movement of Shuddha Ayurveda. And Venimada Shastri Joshi changed his party from integrated to Shuddha Ayurveda. And in one Mahasabha, there were two groups, and Venimada Shastri Joshi put himself in Ayurvedic group. Everybody was surprised, and then he said, "No, I'm in favor of Shuddha Ayurveda now. I don't want to go integrated way or something like that." Later on, it so happened that the Ayurveda diminished in integrated group, and only Shuddha Ayurvedic people kept on working on Ayurveda and practicing Ayurveda. So my entry was at that juncture when the Shuddha Ayurveda BMS course had started. Though there were no people to teach, there were no practitioners to follow. Bapu Nanal was still there, but when we passed out, he also left the institute. He also got retired. But there were many other allopathic doctors who took over Tarakan Hospital totally. And after when Vilas Nalal reappeared in the picture, and then Sanjay Pendse, Narendra Pendse, and other followers of Vilas Nalal, they started with some Ayurveda in Tarakan Hospital. Otherwise, this is again driven by allopathy only. Particularly gynecology, surgery, these are driven by purely allopathy. No, nothing of Ayurveda in that. Though there were Sai Rajwade, Pushpa Thurpure, and other ladies who were knowing Ayurveda very well, but eventually they retired. There were no followers of them in Ayurveda. That was the situation. So now what I feel right now that we were rather looked upon as something very strange. Those who were following Kolatkar sir for Ayurveda. And they said this is not going to succeed anyway. And these are fools that don't understand the strength of allopathy, and they will suffer. They will have a setback in their practices, etc., etc. But actually, it so happened that we kept on practicing, and we had great success. All followers of Kolatkar sir had great success. Even the followers of Mama Joshi and Changa, this Vilas Nandal, etc., etc., had great success. And now there is a turnover, so to say, that now people understand that Ayurvedic practice is good and it earns money. That there is no doubt about that. People are successful with only Ayurvedic practice as such. And again, this integration to be done or not, this is again that is coming up, blooming up. Now it is the other way. Now the allopaths feel some assurance or some importance of Ayurveda and are turning back to Ayurveda. Those who are BMS practitioners but practicing allopathy, they have restrictions, and there is a tough competition, cutthroat competition among general practitioners of allopathy. Most of them are from BMS and BHMS. MBBS generally don't stop at MBBS, they go for further post graduation and get into specialized practice. But BMS and BHMS graduates, they start practicing. And starting from the urban areas to semi-urban areas to taluka places and to villages, they have spread across India. And now there is a cutthroat practice. That is the scenario. And there is no satisfaction of practice. Those who could establish their practices long back are happy with their business or with their profession. But for new people, it is very difficult to get established. And even though cut practice is there, that you refer a case to a allopathic doctor and you get a cut in that or some commission for that, etc., etc. Even then, the situation is not really good. On the contrary, there is a so to say sequence that the GP refers the patient to allopathic consultant. If he is unable to do anything, then he refers to super consultant. And if that also fails, then ultimately patient finds a way directly to Ayurveda or homeopathy. It is not referred by somebody else, but he finds a way directly. And then Ayurveda practitioner treats. And if there are any problems in treating, and if we want to have some symptomatic relief or something like that, he may consult allopathic doctor. In COVID-19 situation, this has been evident that those who are practicing pure Ayurveda had problems, and they were treated by allopathy to a certain extent. They continued with Ayurveda and came out. This is again one of the scenarios, which is not pleasant, not good. But there are so many cases in allopathy which are not treated, and they are spoiling the whole society as such. विलेजेस मध्ये प्रॅक्टिस पेक्षा रेफरिंगने होणारी अर्निंग अधिक असते. That is true, but if they refer it to Vaidyas directly, we are not into cut practice. So we don't pay any commission to a Vaidya who is referring a case to me. Now say Samir Jagandagini has 4,000 students practicing all over Maharashtra. So he is getting references from his students, and that is sufficient for him to carry on practice. Though he is also advertising and doing it on TV, media, and other things, etc., etc. But even I have many students, and I have reference from students, I have reference from patients directly. Both the things are there. And there is absolutely no chance for any kind of cut to be given or something. So this is ethical practice, that is fine. But what I feel that people should start using Ayurveda to a certain extent. General practitioners of Ayurveda practicing allopathy should start some medicines on their own, and may gather information from senior Vaidyas, or may have some voluntary practice with big Vaidyas, and start using something, at least starts having history of the patient and asking him to follow some dietary rules, etc., dinacharya, etc. And even that fetches good results, because they are family physicians and the family trusts them. And that is why when they refer the cases to some super specialist, the family accepts that and goes to a super specialist. That is definitely being done. So let us use the faith of the families in these general practitioners. And surprisingly, Dinanath Mangeshkar awarded a good practitioner award, general practitioner award, to one fellow near this Matre Beach, who is BMS doctor, actually practicing general practice, allopathic general practice. सो वैद्य खूप लांबची गोष्ट चांगल्या ॲलोपॅथीकडे पण पाठवत नाहीत. अधिक कट देणाऱ्या सुमार हॉस्पिटलला पाठवण्यात इंटरेस्ट असतो. So if this is the fact and this is your experience, then this has to be thought about, and how we can bring out a change in this. I thought of diabetes, and no, there are many patients suffering from diabetes on allopathic medicines, not responding, and the sugar keeps on fluctuating or something like that. And apart from that, there are other side effects, what you can say, upadravas of diabetes, retinopathy, nephropathy, etc. So, if we can approach this BMS or BHMS graduates who are practicing general allopathy about Ayurveda's view on nephropathy, Ayurveda's view on retinopathy, etc., and they can at least start पादाभ्यंग, शिरस्तर्पण, नेत्रतर्पण, शिरोतर्पण, संशिरस्तर्पण, etc., etc. Sir Deshmukh sir seems to use such integrated approach in cancer treatment with promising results. Up to 40% cut given from patient's bill. So this is horrible. No doubt Sir Deshmukh sir is a good practitioner, but his integration approach and my holistic approach, these are still different things. What he emphasizes, he doesn't, what we can say, oppose allopathy, whatever way. So if they suggest chemotherapy, radiation, he would say do it. Along with that, you take Ayurveda. So the side effects, etc., will be reduced. And he is of opinion that cancer cannot be cured. Now this is very strange. We can't claim that cancer can be cured, but cancer can be kept under control. That is one thing. And over a period, maybe 10 years, 15 years, it would be possible to say that the cancer has been cured. Only if no allopathic treatment is taken prior to Ayurveda or something like that. But I'm of opinion that we try to treat cases only on Ayurveda, and if at all we want to take help from allopathy, then it should be very limited. This is not still acceptable by allopathy. That is another important aspect. केमो वापरायचीच असेल तर आयुर्वेदिक विषचिकित्सा अधिक प्रभावाने वापर करता येईल. So this is one of the integrated approaches. So why chemotherapy works? That we need to think. We can't give any poison to a particular patient or something like that. And this is a Krutrima Visha. Chemotherapy is a Krutrima Visha. It doesn't fall under Jangama or Audhida or Vanaspati Visha. So this is a chemical. And pharmaceuticals have proven that this particular drug is useful for this particular cell type. They have cell line study, and then animal study, and then human study, or something like that. So they have followed a meticulous path about this. The objective of this is to kill cancer cells. The objective is not to cure cancer. That's a big thing. Once Gadgil sir got a check of rupees 67 as a cut for referring patient to X-ray. Sir given me that check for returning. It cost 100 rupees for auto to return 67 rupee check. So what I feel right now is there is a scope for integration. I don't say that there is no scope for integration. Only thing is we should not get carried away by allopathic whims or something like that. The basic treatment of cancer should be Rasayana treatment. And in addition, if we want to do something, some apatarpana to the tumor and try to reduce that tumor, then local apatarpan is required. And therein we may try to use Gomutra and some other things, etc. People feel that that's the only treatment. They forget about Bodhudga. And these farms which are producing Gogruta, they emphasize on Gogruta and Gomutra, rather go more on Gomutra and less on Gogruta or Gokshira. And that should be the other. Tongue CA patients are radiation taking Gruta and other medications won't reduce the efficacy of radiation. Doctors refuse Ayurveda. Now, this is also a common question, and I say no, it doesn't reduce the effect of that drug. Now, this has to be proved. If we want to fight with allopathic doctors, then this has to be proved. We may have a control study in which, in one case, along with allopathy, Ayurvedic medicines are given, and in this group, control group, only allopathic medicines are given. And I also create such extracts. Okay. Then it becomes more difficult. We can definitely find whether there is a difference in the effects of that allopathic drug. We will definitely find that there is definitely better quality of life and less suffering by groups which are being treated with Ayurveda and such. So that is why Sarvesh Mukher started chemotherapy and radiation in his own hospital. He said, anyway, people are going to take this, then why should they spend outside and will earn the money? That is one thing. The radiation unit was donated to them from the ARC. That is another important aspect. And then that is fine, but we should not emphasize that you should also take chemotherapy along with this. But then it's allopathic doctor, oncologist, and he suggests, keeps on suggesting there is no dialogue between him and Sardesh Sir whether chemotherapy is appropriate in this stage or not, or which chemotherapy to be used. Instead of using paclitaxel and carboplatin in every case right from the beginning, why should we not start with oral chemo with simple dose or small dose, along with Rasayana treatment from Ayurveda and all? I have read that recently Sardesh Sir has designed chemo kit for cancer patients. So this might be reducing the side effects of chemotherapy. That might be. We may talk about to him. But anyway, I have started my course on cancer, foundation course and advanced in-depth course or something like that. And I have a concept that every good Vaidya who has a capacity to do Ayurvedic practice fluently, very good, may enter the field of cancer as well and start treating cancer cases because the demand is tremendous and there are no people who are treating cancer patients scientifically or something like that. So what I feel that this message should be spread I'm afraid what is going to happen to his center when he leaves it or when he stops working or something like that. There should be some principle behind treating the cancer cases. He might have it in his mind or something like that. And maybe Vinita Deshmukh and some other people who are with him constantly for many years would be able to carry on whatever he was doing or something like that. But let there be a consensus. So Prashant Bhagyavedikar, Nrsimhacharya Bhagyavedikar was also treating cancer cases. Prashant Bhagyavedikar is also treating cancer cases. This is more from allopathic point of view. The integration is more from the allopathic point of view. Their diagnosis in allopathy is perfect. And how to think of cancer in general in Ayurvedic perspective. This is a big issue. Now, Yogesh Bendare is also practicing cancer. He's a disciple of Prashant Bhagyavedikar. And mainly there's a Shastra medicine that is the issue or something. But what about the theory about cancer? So this nobody has tried. That is a miserable part. I want to write a book on cancer for Vaidyas, explaining the rationale behind my thought process and its application in patients and such. And as it is very difficult to find time to write book, whatever I am following is audio way, 5 minutes audio every day. But this is to be only to be delivered to Vaidyas. Maybe in Hindi or maybe in English. Maybe Hindi is a better choice or something like that. But this is dissemination of knowledge regarding Ayurveda as far as cancer is concerned. Anyway, we started with discussion on integrated and such. My father was taken Ayurveda treatment of Gadgil sir 3 years back along with chemo radiation. It doesn't reduce the efficacy of radiation or of renal cancer with no effects, side effects of chemo. So this is a good example, and this should be very well publicized, made available publicly. So we are coming up with a website, Cancer Holistic Guidance, and we want to share experiences of people. So this is one of the misbelief that Ayurvedic treatment may reduce the effect of human radiation, which I don't agree. But people, doctors can frighten the patient and his relatives. I think we should gather each experience-based data, such experience-based data. Yeah, that is what I am doing right now. And this should be effective. Though the doctors may not get convinced, but patients will get convinced. And somebody has to understand that they have to oppose doctors for their own interest or their own benefit. Just blindly following allopathic doctors is not going to work. So we may think of this integration and other things, and that's a very big topic and such. But truly speaking, it is very difficult to have pure Ayurvedic thoughts in your mind because you are getting influenced knowingly, unknowingly by allopathic parameters, allopathic diagnosis, and many other. So it is very difficult for you to keep away all those views and just concentrate only what Ayurveda would say. But I think this is a new entity and we need to consider the positive factors. on today's factors that are being done. Blood banks refuse donors taking Ayurvedic medicine. Why is it so? Please elaborate. I don't know. I've heard this for the first time. Now there is increasing opposition to Ayurveda. Allopaths initially thought that Ayurveda is not going to work, so this would subside on its own. When Ayurveda was blooming up, now they realize that this is a challenge for them, and their bread and butter may be stolen. So there is lobbying about anti-Ayurveda, and we have to be cautious about that. Unfortunately, we are not single group. There are so many Vaidyas with so many thought processes, and it's not a homogeneous group at all. So we are not fighting together. Individually, one may fight or something like that. सोनचे पेशंटचा 2 वीक्स आधी फोन आला होता. ऑन्कॉलॉजिस्ट सरप्राईज झाले की या पेशंटला 6 केमो झाले तरी काहीच त्रास कसा नाही झाला. ओके, so better you publish this, and better is to have a 2 minutes video, either from patient that or from Adish, whatever it may be. I have heard that Dr. Arvind Kulkarni, oncoradiologist, mother's cancer was cured completely by Dr. Prabhakar Sardeshmukh. I don't think it's mother, it's wife, his wife, Arvind Kulkarni's wife. And she believed more in Sardeshmukh sir than her husband. And this was more late, breast cancer. Now Arvind Kulkarni's son also is oncologist, and he's practicing in US. But they are very good friends of Sardeshmukh sir. Arvind Kulkarni's mother was a very good, and that is why he has very good samskar of Ayurveda in his mind. Unfortunately enough, they are very good friends. Sardeshmukh sir and Arvind Kulkarni are very good friends. So it might be the wife, because I know that she suffered from breast cancer and got cured or something like that. It's better. So anyway, what I feel right now is we try to understand these situations and try to go ahead. एका रुग्णाचा कंपनी चेक मध्ये ब्लड मध्ये निकोटीन डिटेक्ट झाले. त्याला विचारलं की आयुर्वेदिक चिकित्सा घेतो का. त्याचा फोन आला होता, औषधात निकोटीन नसते का. त्या पेशंटने 3-4 महिन्यापूर्वी आपली ट्रीटमेंट बंद केली, बट स्टील अप्रिसिएशन साठी कॉल आला होता. Okay. So nicotine, we are not going to find nicotine in Ayurvedic medicine. How that fool doctor is, that is one aspect. And why this fellow person who is taking Ayurvedic medicine? We have to be very cautious when we say that I'm on Ayurvedic treatment or something like that. I wrote to one X-ray lab or some X-ray technician that don't say on alternative, say Ayurvedic medicine. We don't want to call ourselves an alternative. You may mention that the patient is on Ayurvedic medicine and is showing progression of the disease. We don't mind for that. But don't say that he is on alternative medicine. We don't want to call ourselves as alternative. I didn't get any reply to that. I also didn't follow up or something like that. Follow up. Anyway. आयुर्वेद प्रकांडो निगदित इह हि शल्यतंत्र प्रधानः शिष्येभ्यः शाश्वतोऽयं निखिल जन कृपा व्याप्तचित्तेन येन आयुर्वेदस्य वाञ्छन् पुनरपि भुवने काञ्च सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठान् श्रेष्ठं धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रणमति च सदा वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम्. Now this Ayush Kadha is bit troublesome, there is no doubt. It can increase pitta. Ayurvedic decoction increases heat and cause herpes infection. Burning due to kadha for COVID. Burning is possible. Whether it will cause herpes is doubtful. Generally, people initially laugh when they ignore, then ignore, afterwards fight or oppose, and finally accept. Yeah, but this is for any upcoming science. Even when allopathy started blooming, there were oppositions for allopathy as well. And afterwards it got established. They are misleading. That is true. As far as possible, try to counteract these. That is fun.